Hello everybody, as we go on to day 4 of the World Sports Betting Championship Series, and of course it's Royal Day. Look forward to the running of the Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene Empress Club Stakes. Going to be a super day's afternoon racing. A reminder about our social media on Twitter, @Waiter2Win. We've also of course got a YouTube and a WhatsApp number as well. So all of that is over there for you. And for you to take it, to make use of. We'd love for you to be part of it. Second is a juvenile plate that's run over the 1160 metres. In this particular event, which is the start of the bipots, Mike de Kock and Sean Terry are dominating. Sean Terry, Daryl Marie's with me. Sean's got the Swiss Woman of Fame, and Mike's got Red Hot Rose. And they pretty much, there's not much in it from a market perspective between the two. And then it's 6-1 bar the two.
There's not much in it with regards to form either, Clyde, because they have bumped in the past. Only 3/4 of a length separated the two of them. Red Hot Rose was making her debut, whereas Woman of Fame was having her second start. And Woman of Fame has subsequently worn blinkers in a race, and that was a cracking effort in the Pretty Polly. She ran third, well clear of the balance of the field. I just bankered Red Hot Rose due to the fact that she's drawn more towards the outside in the opening leg of the bipod. So not much to separate the two of them. Watch them go down to the start. If you want to have a bet on the nose, see which is your preference then. But 7 and 10 to fight it out.
Okay, well, it's going to be an interesting race. Those are the two that should dominate. Bipots, here we go. We'll put that up for you. And you guys can have a look at what the bipot looks like. There are all of your numbers. And you can take that bipot, depending on, of course, on whatever you can afford on the day. Those are the numbers from, it will be Daryl Marie's bipot as we start up race number 2. Okay, race number 3 on the card. Let's get on to the activity here. This, of course, being the Monaco Sprint, Monaco Sport of Kings Charity Maiden Sprint. And it's an interesting race with all of that prize money that is on offer. Thank you so much for the wonderful sponsorship from Monaco itself. And it's over 1160 metres. It's a maiden class field. In terms of the market, I can tell you that in race number 3, that Gimme a Diamond is going for the money at 7-2. Coyote, number 2 on the card, is going for the money at 5-1. And 16, Simply Magic, who's trading at 11-2. Then it's 8-1 and better about the others. So from your side, Daryl, who do you think will take home this big prize in a maiden class field?
I wish I knew, Clyde. Yeah, Gimme a Diamond. His downfall or his negative has to be the one draw. What do you make of that one draw up the turffontein straight?
Yeah, it's tough. It's not easy. It's never easy. But I see the form line's worked out to be
yes.
That Bob's your uncle form line again. And that's world class at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, based on his latest effort, he should be the right horse. But that draw is a concern. Hopefully there's some pace around him that he can follow 1 or 2 and he doesn't fall back too far. Because the pace does appear to be on the outside with the likes of Raptor Island. Clyde, Nazar. He moved up last time out over the 1400, faded very late. I think coming back in trip, take note, he gets fitted with a set of blinkers. We saw Stratospheric win again. We saw Hasler win from that form line. I think he's more than capable of winning a maiden. So Nazar, I do believe he represents value. And then Silver Tudor. Last time out in the Work Riders race, I thought he was let loose a little bit soon. More patient ride. He's got the draw on the outside, but he is held on form by Gimme a Diamond, but he was in need of that start. So he pushed into a corner. I'm going 6-5-1.
6-5-1. Interesting race it is indeed. In terms of Nazar, that form's also worked out pretty well, and that's a 20-1 shot. But as you heard from Daryl, he is going with number 6 as his first choice in Silver Tudor. We're going to look at what the boys are putting up now. Have a look at race number 3. Of course, it is the start of the place accumulator. Take the numbers, take them down, take your time, and we wish you all the best with this exotic. Going to race 4, the Darrell Hall handicap. It's over 1160 metres. First leg of the pick 6 this race. And hit them hard. Sunshine, whom I must say I was very impressed with its its debut here on the high felt at 3-1 favourite with Stewie Pettigrew. Joined the 7 Chivana at 3-1. But Daryl, I'm strongly in the hit them hard Sunshine corner. Just on what I saw, I would imagine entry would be a computer form sprint entry, and he's going to take on strong horses in the race. Like I imagine Master Archie's going to go back there again. But I just think, in this sort of company, is the right horse. What do you make of it?
Yeah, Clyde, interesting. He's having it starts his first handicap, so it is his debut in a handicap. On paper, there's only a length separating himself and Danilovic, and the one is a kg better off. So strictly on paper, there's nothing separating the two of them. But he was in need of his local debut for the new yard, and the comments from the yard are extremely positive. They expect him to go close. A lot of Chaivana form line, yeah, Clyde. If you watch that race, you would be in the camp of tread swiftly. He was taken out on that outside running rail. But I had a look at this race, and there's no pace in and around him. I mean, Ikigai is drawn next to him. Argo Ali, I don't see neither of the two pulling him through. So that has to be a concern. Chaivana was fitted with the blinkers last time out. I think he's a better horse given cover. And on that occasion, Clyde, he was exposed very early, and I thought he did extremely well to fight them off in the latter stages. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him confirm that form. And then Godswood, we heard in the post-race interview from Baron Boitzers, he's tried a few different things, and that seemed to work a treat in his later start. He wasn't slowing down or stopping over 1,000 meters. So the blinkers come off, he goes 1160. Small, very competitive.
Small, competitive. There are a few in here. I'm Hit the Hard Sunshine. Hit the Hard Sunshine. Daryl's got a few on his plate. It's a pick six opportunity for you. Let's take a look at what we're doing with this pick six on Royal Day, and you guys can work it out. Those numbers are going up onto the screen now. Make a note of it. Remember, you can use your phone, get the camera, snap away there at the QR code, and put your pick sixes on here. Race number 4. So into the handicap fillies and mares, it's over 1,800 metres. What does it mean from a market perspective? Well, Gilded Butterfly, number 1 on the card, and number 2, Terror Time, as well as number 3, Crimson Princess. They're all at 3-1, so they're hogging top of the boards. Is it that open, Daryl?
Clyde, yes, on paper, it's not much separating a few of them. Terror Time, last time out in the Jacaranda, she had a very wide draw to contend with. Marco bounced her to get into a good position. She took a little bit of a tug and she never got cover. So in my mind, she's possibly a length or two even better than that effort. From a 2 draw, she's hopefully going to get some cover from Escape Artist and settle and get the job done. But there's very little separating herself and Gilded Butterfly. She's got a hefty weight to shoulder, but she does get that apprentice allowance, and she's more than capable. If you have a look at Crimson Princess, she also comes into the play, Clyde. So she likes to be given a chance early and come with a late rattle. Hasn't seen the winner's enclosure recently, but she's ultra consistent. And Escape Artist certainly has turned the corner. Just strictly on a line through Escape Artist now, or Sister Light, I might add. That Terror Time beat Sister Light, giving her 6.5 kilograms, whereas Escape Artist received 5.5 kilograms. So if I'm using a line through Sister Light, Terror Time, I'm leaning towards her over Escape Artist.
Okay. Well, Escape Artist is now looking for the hat-trick of wins. It's going to be an interesting race, but there's a good analogy of dissecting form on receiving and giving weight, and maybe that's why Terror Time could end up being the right one here. And Marco van Rensburg has started to boot home winners again, so interesting. Jackpot time, race 5. Let's get the numbers up for you. Here's the exotic from the gents, here from the weighted to win team. Remember that race 5 does run at 10-2. This is the Terry Cocking Fillies and Mares divided handicap, and it's over 1,800 metres. Race 6 is the Stephen Stanway handicap fillies and mares over 1,800 metres. There are a few in here that certainly have got chances. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. And Trump My Queen tomps the boards here on the way to win show. Race 6 at 5-2. Second choice is number 3, LMB, for Sean Terry at 7-2. And 1 High Roller is trading at 11-2. Let's talk about Trump My Queen for Joe Sober. I mean, I have to say the yard has been in particular good form. They really have been flying at the moment. And he hasn't been sending out too many. His strike rate must be, I haven't done the analysis, but must be right up at the top.
Yeah, he doesn't have too many horses. I'm sure he's got a small but effective yard, Clyde. Whatever he saddles, you have to take it seriously. Excuse me once again, Clyde. She does get fitted with a tongue tie, interestingly enough. On paper, Clyde, now listen to this. Herself, High Roller, and Linga No More have met in the past, and Linga No More holds him on paper. And I'm really not a fancy or a fan of her chances. So I'm looking elsewhere. I thought LMB, given a quiet comeback in sticky conditions, never in contention, penultimate start, the race wasn't run to suit Clyde. I don't know if you recall that race. Keegan DeMello rode a peach on Lady Regent. He went to the front, he crawled and he sprinted for home. LMB actually quickened better than what Calvin Habib expected. She hit the front 600 meters out.
Too early, yeah.
And she still rattled on towards the latter stages. I think she's ahead of the handicapper. She's only having a fifth start. Going to strip much fitter. She'll love this test in 1800. A bank in all bets for me, number 3, LMB.
Okay, so you're going bigs on LMB. It's interesting. There you go, Sean Terry, Richard Ferree. That's Daryl's best bet. Well, he says in everything, it's trading 7-2 second choice. Having said all of that, you've got to remember that the Trump My Queen form is working out well because ipso facto came from there and won. And Apache Fighter, that was like Special Charm, who just, by the way, ran behind Rarotonga Rose, had Flying First Class come and win, and Apache Fighter. So the forms work, but I'm not arguing with Daryl. He's on LMB, so I will be too. And this is the plan for our next race on the card here. Trump My Queen, at this point in time, recording the show on Friday, is top of the boards. There are all of the numbers for you. That's our plan for race number 6. Let's get on now, ladies and gents, and move on this Royal Day. We talk now about race number 7 on the card. And this particular event, the 7th race, if I just want to make sure we get the names absolutely accurate because it's very important. It's the World Sports Betting Spook Express. It's a listed event and it's over 2,400 meters. In the race, the favourite is Red Maple, 4 Sean Terry at 7-2, 5 Apache Fighter is 5-1, and 3 Flying First Class 6-1. Can Light of the Moon, number 1, bounce back to its best at 13-2? Barron's also got 6 Kind Judy trading at 13-2. And there are quite a few in the market in the race, Daryl, that I suppose deserve a respect in a race like this.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Can Light of the Moon bounce back to her best, Clyde? She's clearly not at her best. But in saying that, she was desperately in need of a comeback start. She never got to the front. We know how much guts this filly actually has because when she gets to the front, she fights nearly anything that challenges her off. On ratings, you have to take her seriously. I mean, she's 3 kgs best in. She's got the master on top, and it appears as if the stable has started to turn. So she's not going to be my top pick, Clyde, but I'm certainly not excluding her. Apache Fighter, how impressive was she last time out over, what was it, the same course and distance? Yes. Muzi knows her extremely well.
She trounced her field, didn't she?
Yes. But strictly on paper, Clyde, Quiet Rebellion is 4.5 kilograms better off for her length.
Yeah.
So, Quiet Rebellion, now once again stepping over ground. She tried it early on in her career. She was far from disgraced. And you can just put a line through her later start. The race wasn't run to suit. They crawled and they sprinted. On the inside track, she was caught flat-footed and she never got into contention. So 52 kilograms from a 1-draw. Quiet Rebellion has to be the each-way play. Red Maple, an improving Savannah filly, certainly getting better with racing. That form line is yet to be franked. I mean, there's been 6 runners, all 6 unplaced. So that's a major concern.
About Red Maple, yeah.
But yeah, you got an improving filly by Savannah unexposed of this trip. I'm not ignoring her chances, but the form line is yet to be franked.
Interesting. Of course, for Daryl, he'll be hoping that LMB's won by now, but if it was Trump My Queen that won, that makes it even stronger, the ipso facto form line, which, strengthens the Quiet Rebellion argument even more in its favour. So there we go. Quiet Rebellion, the each-way play of the day here. This is the plan, guys. Take a look at the selections from the Waiter to Win team. On to the 8th race, the Hersery Niners Princess Charlene Empress Club Stakes. It's over the mile, named after the Galloping Gold Mine Empress Club, the champion, one of the best fillies we've ever seen in South Africa. I'm not sure if we've seen any better. I mean, of course, we've had some fantastic fillies, and as in our day, we've been blessed with some very good ones, like in particular Ipitombi, for example, and the Gugu. They were top class, but Empress Club is still one of our favourites. Well, now, what does it mean in a race like this? Well, the market's got Desert Miracle top of the boards. I want to ask Daryl if that's correct. Number 1 at 22-10, 2 Under Your Spell 3-1, and 5 Give Me a Shot 5-1. 6 Feather Boa. Let's hope she runs straight at the end and keeps focused at 11-2, and then you can get 8-1 and better about the others.
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line in the Empress Club?
Clyde, I've narrowed down to 3 runners. Desert Miracle, she wore the steels last time out. She drifted off the boards. But the comments from the yard were she had new steels on, and it wasn't. There weren't any issues behind the fact that she was wearing steels. She just had been shod with steels, and they weren't wanting to take them off because she was comfortable in them. Can she turn around the form with the fillies that finished ahead of her on that occasion? She certainly can, because she's better off at the weights. I think she's 3.5 kilograms better off for 5-length beating. She was in need of that start, and she's going to strip a lot fitter. But if you do back her, you take your chances with her, because when she wins, she's exceptional, but she certainly has let the side down in the past.
Sure.
At the weight, she's going to prove very, very hard to beat. You can argue, is she best over a mile, a testing mile? That might also put a lot of people off. So, Clyde, she's certainly got the class to win, and she is one for the shortlist. I was just super impressed with Gimme a Shot's latest run. It was in the HF Oppenheimer Horse Chestnut Stakes.
Against the boys?
Clyde, if you watch that replay, she actually got taken out with 50 meters to go. She was certainly going to finish in the top 3. Penultimate start, she had a lovely prep. She was over racing. She wasn't disgraced. Super fit. I think JP can come out very soft from one draw, get her to settle. That's most important. And she's got the ability. I mean, we saw it over the course and distance in the Ipitombi. So don't rule out. Feather Boa, I'm surprised she hasn't been fitted with a set of blinkers yet. Because she gets there and she
just tends to drift a bit at the end, eh? She doesn't focus.
So I thought really we'd be seeing her with blinkers by this stage of her career, but she's another one that is of high class and will certainly be fighting out the finish. So I'm going 5 and 6 from 1, Clyde.
Give Me a Shot, Feather Boa for Daryl Marie, those two. Interesting. I'm also on the side of Give Me a Shot. I also saw what he saw, and well, listen, she's taking on some of the best now, no question about that. It's going to be and make for a great Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene Empress Club Stakes race. Of that, there's no doubt. Here's our selections from the Weighted to Win team in this, the 8th race, our Grade 1 of the afternoon. Back with us now. Let's move on to our next race on the card. We talk about race 9. This is a handicap over the mile, and in this particular event, final leg of the pick 6. Perhaps one of the harder races on the card, one would have thought, when they bet 3-1 in the field. 4 Just Be Nice, Candice Dawson stable, starting to come back to form now, 3-1. 2 on the card is Trentino, second choice at 4-1, and number 8 Sharapova's at 4-1, and then it's 5-1 and better about the others. But I guess there are a few in here that you'll have to consider.
Yeah, this is tricky, Clyde. Let me just state, Just Be Nice has been very impressive in her latest 2 starts. She was taken out at the Val, caught wide, and she still won. And last time out, she won with a lot in hand, but she's gone up in the ratings. I'm going to be taking her on. I don't really make her a winning inclusion of year. Clyde, number 3, Winter Muse. If you just watched her debut, when she was returning from a layoff, she caught the eye in the canter past, and she caught the eye in the race itself. It looks like she's got some ability. Then last time out, she tried the 1400. She got caught wide in the early stages, and then it got a little bit tight in the straights, and she was left alone. I think she's way, way better than that effort. My only concern is the mile, but if she's more effective and she appreciates the step up in trip, she could be anything. So she's going to be my top pick. Healthy respect for Sharapova. I mean, she's a lightly raced daughter by Karari, and she's extremely well related. She certainly could have a lot more to offer. Just punched out with her hands last time out. She's got a great draw, and she's going to strap a lot fitter because that was her first run since returning from the Western Cape. So I think she is a major player of the year. Tinder dry on her day, she's more than capable because we know she's off a current or a competitive mark. But Clyde, the race doesn't stop there. I mean, you've got the likes of Time for Glory who's plummeted in the ratings, and even one other in Luna Ballard. Caught very wide last time out, and she actually looks like a nice sort.
So it's open. It's a tough race.
Open, yeah.
Okay.
But Winter Muse, Clyde, don't be surprised if she comes back to her best.
Yeah, that's at any price. Obviously, Winter Muse, again, another Joe Soma horse. It's something trading like 7, 8 to 1 would have a chance with, is it Bling in the saddle? Yeah, Bling Kamala. Okay, that's our 9th race. That's a wrap from us in terms of this particular event from the Wager to Win team. Have a look at the selections. Make your minds up. Let's see if you can get some money out of the 9th race on the card. Final leg of the Pick 6. Welcome back. Let's get on to race number 10 now. This is a World Sports Betting spin with the best handicap. It's over 1160 metres. Ozenker's back in the frame, so to speak. Well, looking to win again, but got Windwater to beat if the betting is anything to go by. Number 2, Windwater, is 2 to 1 favourite. 1, Ozenker, is 7 to 2 joint second favourite with 3, Super Agra, who's trading at 7 to 2. Your first choice, Mr. Murray.
Sure.
Is it hard?
Slinky.
Malinky. Oh, okay.
Clyde,
Tell me why.
sure. He beats a very, very poor field last time out.
Yes, I see
and
that.
that form line hasn't stood up whatsoever.
No, so why do you
But
like it?
He's been rested and gelded, Clyde, right? Go back to his penultimate starts. He ran beyond Melech,
Yes.
and he could be better now that he's been gelded. He's also run to Raffles, home of the Brave, who I'm waiting to run again.
Yes.
And I'll be having my maximums on the next time that runs. But
Just remind us, will you?
But yeah, rested and gelded, Clyde. Let's see how he goes. I think he certainly could be well ahead of the handicapper because he's very lightly raced. So I'm very keen to see his performance on Saturday. Ozenker, 2 from 2 for the Tony Peter yard, 2 from 2 over the course and distance. Hard to knock his chances, but he does meet Expeditioner 6.5 kilograms worse off. And then Windwater, I just want to say one thing about Windwater. Watch him move down to the start.
Yeah.
His form line has been franked, obviously, with Mercantor and Move and Shaker, but he doesn't have the best of draws, and he doesn't stride out great. So let's see how he moves down.
Okay.
I've got healthy respect for him. But Slinky Malinky, Clyde, or Mapimpi. Slinky Mapimpi.
Yeah.
Maybe in his return as a gelding can back it up.
Slinky Mapimpi, that's the right name, correct? Okay, well, maybe. It goes back-to-back wins. Got Ryan Munger in the saddle. Form line perspective, Windwater is definitely the horse to beat because, as Daryl said, Mercantor came out and won again, and Mover and Shaker, who was behind them, also came out and won. But you've got to watch Windwater go to the gate, and you guys can make up your mind. Slinky Mapimpi, number 7, could be the value. What's the price for the 7? It's 12 to 1 a win, and maybe you can get some 2 to 1 a place about this horse. That's a wrap from the Way to Win team. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope it's going to be you've had a pleasant Royal Day with us in this day 4 of our World Sports Betting Championship Series, as we now march on to Champions Day, our finale at the end of April.